So unfortunately, my video schedule is kind of screwed up during this whole release period. Even though I wanted to upload more, my sore throat developed into a cold, so I haven't been playing too much. But I finally have enough gameplay that I think is decent enough for a new deck. So today we're beginning to be playing Odd Haven, which is a new archetype they introduced, and I think it's a pretty fun archetype. I will talk more about it in the deck list later, but yeah, we'll be playing some Odd Haven. It was one of the more interesting things that I saw during the start of the expansion when I was reviewing the cards, so I wanted to give it a try. So let's look at the deck list we're playing for today first. So this is the list we'll be playing for today. I took a lot of reference from a Japanese player called Toby, who I will link in the description, who has been playing a lot of this deck right now. I made some additions on my own because I didn't want to be too reliant on other people's deck list. I want to at least I feel like I have a bad habit of just copying people's deck list, so I've been trying to practice making adjustments on my own. So this is the list we'll be playing for today. The idea is to play Kukishiro, whose crest will allow you to summon either a Fox of Purity, which is a 2-cost 1/3 ward, or a Holy Falcon, which is a 2/2 storm, whenever you draw a card, if it's a odd costed card that costs 5 or less. This 5 or less thing is quite important because he himself costs 7, so when you draw him, he doesn't summon anything, which is a bit annoying, but we'll talk about that later. And then if you draw an even card that costs 6 or less, you summon one for your opponent instead. So we're allowed to play Jan because she costs more than 6, so even though she's an even costed card, she won't summon anything. And we're running one of Wilbert as well. Even though he will summon something if you draw him after Kukishiro's effect is active. His ability to buff the foxes that you summon is quite strong, and you can see we have a very ward heavy list here with the Selefa, the Prescient Priestess, and the Grimnir as well. Prescient Priestess, I think I underestimated this card, but this card's early game is quite good, being a Fanfare that does 2 damage, and then you can evolve it to do it again. It's sort of like Gildanese, except that after evolving, it has 4 attack, and also has ward, and also you won't waste your healing. And also it has 2 attacks, so when you play it early game, it's not just a liability. So yeah, a lot of reasons why this is sort of like a Gildanese that does better in the early game. Of course, late game healing from Gildanese and the damage wins out, but you know, is that. Yeah, this is the list we're playing for today. The idea is just to play Kukishiro and hopefully Wilbert, and then just draw and then just grind your opponent down with free followers while you use wards to protect your face. You can heal with Guild Unleashed, and then you can just use stuff like Fate of the World or Divine Guard or Resolve of the Mist Bloom to just clear your opponent's board, and Jan as well. So yeah, let's look at. It's a bit hard to understand this, get a feel for this deck's gameplay just by looking at the list. So we'll look at some gameplay right now. Our first match is against Porto right now. Porto seems to be one of, if not the most popular deck, probably competing with Dragon, I think. And it's definitely very strong with the new Imari package. I heavily underestimated how strong the package was. Yeah, for the mulligan, we usually depends on matchup. Against Porto, I'm usually mulligan for early game answers because if it's Puppet and I don't have early game answers, I'm screwed. Lefa is especially good because she can answer what's her face? Zwei. This Puppet Lancer, still don't know what this is, but we don't want to take too much damage in the early game because Porto decks in general deal a lot of damage in the late game because they have Beelzebub, so we'll just go ahead and coin out Resolve the Mist Bloom to get rid of the Puppet Lancer there. We're gonna play Slouse here, so this is probably Destruction. Slouse is quite a bit of value, so we don't really want to let them keep it. So we'll just go ahead and use a random Destruction to get rid of the Slouse there. My opponent will go ahead and play Devastating Soprano, confirming that this is in fact Egg. Not much to do this turn, so we just go ahead and drop World of Games, and then we just play the Monster Literature just to get the countdown going again. So just put a 2/2 on board, which my opponent, I guess, has to do something about. I don't think they necessarily have to, but I mean, I would think they should. Leave it alive though, so we'll go ahead and hide it behind a ward with Selefa here. Just heal up the 1 damage ping, and we'll just evolve a Literature. Once we know that his Destruction, we don't really need Selefa in this matchup anyway because they don't really go wide. We'll just try to chip damage. This matchup, we are heavily unfavored if it drags on late because of Beelzebub, so we sort of have to evolve the Literature here to chip damage as well as trying to force out their resources. Then they play a 1-cost Imari spell. That spell is very annoying in this matchup because they can erase the amulet to use to set up big turns of John. And they can also erase Wilbert. Unfortunately, we draw Wilbert here, so this is I guess a lesson in order because definitely should have hit face before engaging the amulet for the exact reason that if we draw Wilbert and it summons them a ward, then we are kind of in trouble and we just lose 4 damage to the face like that. So definitely should have just went for Wilbert. I could have evolved face as well. I probably should have evolved face and then engaged the amulet. But in this case, we draw a super bad roll with both Wilbert and Kukishiro, so we don't summon a single thing. As well as we lose our damage to face because we end up summoning the Flox for them. So that is a reason why you may consider not running Wilbert in this deck, I guess. There's another Imari from my opponent. And they will use the Dewdrop as well. And they are going wide. It's fine. Go ahead and use the Priestess here, just play the board. And as well as activate the countdown to draw more cards here. Pick out another Falcon, which is fine, I guess. We're sure I'll try to set up for a decent Jan turn here with the shutting down this Resolve the Mist Loop. And then we just Evo Phase to ignore this because we have a ton of wards in the way anyway. Their main way of clearing wards is with Congregant. And if they play Congregant, the little friend can't go face anyway. So in this case, we just ignore it and hit them in the face. Especially for us, they do manage to full heal, or not full heal, but almost full heal here as well as clear our board. But we managed to force out their Evo Point, which is very good. Because of the whole Imari package, there's very little people running like the Evo package for Egg Portal right now. So if we manage to run down their Evo points, we might be able to outgrind them in the late game. Go ahead and just chunk them for 7 here. I'm sort of assuming they don't have Congregant, so that I can get away with this. But I think they do end up having Congregant here, which is a bit unfortunate for me. So yeah, my sort of gamble play didn't really pay off there. We take the sap turn here, we go ahead and sap the Serene Sanctuary as well as play Kukishiro to draw into our deck more as well as summon more followers. Unfortunately, we draw Jan here, so we do miss with the effect again. And that's the reason why you might want to cut down on stuff like Jan and Wilbert is because they don't activate the effect, so they end up being a bit of a liability in the late game. Opponent uses their Sincerity of the Dewdrop to get rid of my draw, which is very unfortunate because I was setting up for a Jan turn there, but well. Anyway, at this point they are Evo points as well, so now we can try to hopefully outgrind them. Oh, I would say that, but actually they kind of just left lethal on board here in their, I guess, desire to erase my card draw. I'm not sure what they had in hand if they thought that leaving the board was a good idea, but I guess they have Congregant at least. Anyway, this is lethal, so let's move on to the next game. So our next game here is against Sword. Against Sword, you definitely want to look for early game. Keeping Yield on least is worth considering, but since we have a Appreciation Priestess in this deck, I think it's worth searching for that instead. And of course, we need to keep Salefa in case they go wide. Here's World of Games, both loot and well, any sword that can really run World of Games. Evo generally doesn't, but we can't be too sure either. So they go ahead and clear a Lance Trooper here. We have Salefa to heal, so we are okay taking some damage. So we hold on to this coin in case we need to coin out something more important than just coining up Appreciation Priestess here. I'm gonna go super wide though, so we are just gonna drop Appreciation Priestess this turn to go ahead and get rid of one of the Lancers. And we just pass here. There is the Vows, and they will go ahead and punch me in the face for a bunch of damage as well, which is not ideal, but we can go ahead and coin out Salefa to deal with this board while healing back a lot of the damage that we've taken. There's Zirconia. Unfortunately, there is an argument that I should have saved Salefa for this turn instead. Deal Zirconia, but with Monster Literature and De La Field, I can at least get rid of 2 of these. But I think I just top deck Salefa instead, so we're definitely gonna go with that play instead. Worst case, we just go World of Games, Monster Literature, De La Field, Evolve Literature and then activate De La Field to destroy a follower, and then just trade into another one with the Monster Literature. Okay, then we go ahead and Evo face with their Zeta Bay, which will take a bunch of damage from. Top deck Gun Leech is a very nice draw. But for now, we will go ahead and get our Kukishiro active. It is our main value engine in this deck after all. If you have animated Kukishiro, every single follower he summons becomes animated, so it's great value if you are interested in that, I guess. Unfortunately, I only have one copy that's animated right now. Opponent Evo's Albert here, just very aggressive play. They're probably looking to drop Oluon or something at some point, which we don't necessarily want to deal with. So I will go ahead and use Gunalis to heal up. And we do this weird play so they have enough board space to drop the Resolve the Miss Bloom as well, while healing up. To set up on next turn, of course. Let me just poke them in the face. There's Lyria, and they will pull out the Oluon as we sort of expected. So there's gonna be Aggro Sword, I guess we can confirm at this point. The Oluon, unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, it doesn't kill me, but like, it does kill my Gillen, which is a bit unfortunate. We use Fate of the World to draw here. Even though we are very low, they don't have good ways to deal 6 damage. They have like 7 damage. I mean, they have 5 damage with Tentacle if they're running it. But we super evolve the ward, of course, to block Albert because Albert will deal 6 damage. So as long as we take care of that, we should be fine. Someone drops Oluon here, which will clear my board, which is unfortunate. I will draw a lot of games here to pop the amulet here. We end up, well, no, if we get 2 eagles, we can just drop John for lethal, but unfortunately we do get the foxes. So we go ahead and just play the bouquet instead. My reasoning being that with Divine Guard, I can just buff one of them to block Albert's fanfare anyway, so unless they have Quick Blader plus Albert, this should be fine. Honestly, playing Zhao would have been fine as well. It would have at least play around Quick Blader plus Albert, but thankfully my opponent did have Quick Blader plus Albert here. Here we make another attempt to just draw two eagles. And we do get 2 eagles. One would have been lethal with John, but you know, I guess it's whatever. Unfortunately, my last game here is also against Sword because there is actually nothing but Sword and Portal on ladder right now, so even if I wanted to play a different matchup, I couldn't. I wanted to draw Dragon appears, but then it just Omega High rolls me with like 3 Rem cards and then I just die, so... Yeah, anyway, it's the same game plan, I guess, draw into our deck. Use stuff like Preach and Priestess to survive early game. Golden drops the Devotee, but like every Sword deck plays Devotee right now, so still don't know what this is, I guess. Go ahead and call it Preach and Priestess here, just get rid of it. Just don't want to let them do too much damage. Grimnir tells us this is going to be evil though. We're going to use De La Field to get rid of the Grimnir and then just chip some damage face. We have a lot of draw in our hand right now, so we're losing out a bit of draw. Let's returning Slash. We'll use the Goblet to heal off the damage we dealt as well, which is fine, I guess, as long as they're not pressuring us on board. Since they did nothing, we just go ahead and set up here with De La Field and 12 games. Serene Sanctuary is interesting to play late game because you can use it to set up with its countdown as well. So this play just makes better use of my play points by dropping De La Field, which can be a bit of a liability to drop in the late game when it costs 3 and doesn't do anything on fanfare. Yeah, probably shouldn't have acted the Serene Sanctuary if I'm being honest, but since I don't have Kukishiro, maybe it's actually fine just to try to find Kukishiro. My opponent does the classic phase, play a going face with the Data Bay here. Yeah, Kukishiro here. We could have coined it out, but we don't have board space right now, so we just go ahead and evolve Wilbur instead. Plus, if we play Kukishiro and we toss Albert back into the deck, we're in trouble because we might accidentally summon a follower for them, which we don't want to do. Opponent goes for a double Devotee here with the Amelia. Not a great play from them, but I guess they didn't have anything better to do. We do leave a bunch of Cavaliers on our board for us here. If we draw Jam, we can consider buffing. But I guess I chose not to. I don't quite remember why, but I guess we go Selefa here. John super evil face with... Oh, I was saving John because I knew this was evil, so I was saving John in case I need to answer very dangerous board like with CF1, but honestly, going Jan here and just putting the onus on them to answer the massive Cavalier board would have been fine too as well, so could go either way. My opponent goes Amelia here, which is somewhat annoying, I guess. We do have answers for it though, so we're not too worried. Again, we want to save John at this point for stuff like CF1's board, so just go ahead and use Precision Priestess to clear these. Then we have Divine Guard to buff up the Precision Priestess to clear the Amelia. We're saving this for our John turn, or if we desperately need the Destruction effect, which might happen down the line. Gonna leech from my opponent as well as Amelia to draw into their deck. And they'll use their boots to draw here, I guess. I mean heal, sorry, not draw. Which is fine. They're at full now. They're out of Evo points, but we can't be too gung-ho because Evo Sword has a lot of free Evo. So even if they're out of Evo points, that doesn't mean they will have any trouble clearing our boards. We play safe here, save our Evo point, and just poke them in the face a little bit with this Falcon while setting up more draw to pair with our John turn. As well as find our second copy of John. Honestly, going Fate of the War here would have been fine, I feel, but I guess I decided not to. I can use it to destroy. I can set up Gilnalise here and just like ping them in the face for 5 damage. Drop Monster Literature, I guess just to get it out of the hand and for a bit of tempo. Honestly, it would have been fine to keep it the pair of John as well, so that's definitely an option. And then goes our board to the Golden Knight. Is fine. Now we go ahead and play with Fate of the War to get rid of the Golden Knight and summon a bunch of followers. We get a Falcon here so we can ping them for a bit of damage. Yeah, see, even though my opponent was at full a moment ago, we managed to just like chip them down using the value of this deck. So there's the CF1, which will full evolve out of their board, which is quite scary, but we did save John for this exact scenario, so we're not super worried there. Thankfully we do get a Falcon, so this John has a nice bit of value attached to it as well. We'll drop Bokeh Believer, just I guess I don't know why I dropped it. Maybe I was thinking about something, who knows. We go ahead and chip down with the Holy Falcon there. Unfortunately we are out of damage in our hand, so go ahead and hopefully draw something or we might be in trouble. Well, worst case we just left out to clear board, right? Pick up draw off the top here, but we don't quite need it yet, so we go ahead and place Lefa here to the clear board as well as heal up. We're going to drop the Della Field as well, or setting up for John turn once again. And then goes for the Golden Knight here. If we pop Della Field and draw draw another Falcon, I actually have lethal here, so one of the things you have to consider playing this deck is that whether to go for these kind of risky lethals. In this case, I just have to play it safe and go ahead and go with Bokeh Believer. And now we can go ahead and draw. If I'm gonna do that anyway, I should have just drawn first. Yeah, I had lethal, so I did misplay there. So definitely interesting interaction worth considering here. And we go ahead and set up a Gilnalise here to get her spell. We can't evo it, so it doesn't really matter that we're wasting Gilnalise here. I think the spell means we have 10 damage here, so if my opponent doesn't heal 8 or kill me, we should be fine. And Evo Sword doesn't have good ways to kill me from here, so let's see, we do manage to survive here. And my opponent does know they have lethal, so I believe they just concede. So those are all the games I have for you today. Hopefully it gave you some idea of how this deck functions and how it plays. It's a very interesting archetype because there is no like particular super in-engine win con, like you're just sort of grinding with value from Kukishiro. It's a very interesting deck. And on the subject, it's actually a very complicated deck both to build and play. Like there's so much decision to make depending on RNG and like saving resources because you don't really have massive bursts. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting deck and I actually really like playing it. So I'll definitely be doing more experimenting with this deck after I get some more videos on some of the newer decks out. So yeah, I guess look forward to that question mark. Anyway, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.